So I'm not quite sure what look I'm going to be going with today, but on my skin already I do have some SPF. I use this one from Lancome because I'm trying out this new like facial peel system. It's like a 28-day system. I've been trying it out. This is the Lancome Visionnaire Crescendo. It is a progressive night peel. I'm still on phase 1. I'm over halfway through with phase 1. It's a 14-day treatment and then you move on to phase 2. So if you see any changes in my skin, this is probably what it is, but you have to use this SPF with it. This is an SPF 50, and I spent a very small fortune on my Chanel SPF, but I actually like this one from Lancome just a little bit better. This is the Bienfait UV SPF 50 plus sunscreen. So anyway, this is on my skin right now. I've been liking it so far. So anyway, there's that. I also have this little guide that I've been trying out lately. This is the GrandeLash MD Lash Serum, and hopefully you'll be able to see a difference in my lashes soon. I did take some before photos. I've only used this like 3 nights, so you're not going to see any difference right now, but hopefully in the next month or so you'll see a large difference. At least I'm hoping. It was super expensive. So anyway, those products are already on my face. I also have my primer down. This is the Makeup Forever Step 1 smoothing primer, and this is getting ridiculous. I've had this cut open for weeks now, over a month I think. It's getting down to the very bottom, so I'm hoping that either this week it'll be finished off or by next week. And the last thing that I already have on my face, just to speed things up a little bit, is what is in my brows. I'm not done with my brows, but I just wanted to toss this through the brows because it does take a little bit longer. I'm using the Maybelline Color Tattoo in number 35, Tough as Taupe, in the brows today. I like this in the brows if you have super dark hair or if you have black hair like me. Or if you just dye your hair black. I really like the taupey tone that is in this. So this is what's through my brows right now. I'll run something else through them in just a minute, but I wanted to toss on something to my lips just so by the time I move on to a lip product, it'll be ready. I got this little sample here. This is the Bite Beauty Agave Lip Mask, and it comes with 3 different little types. So there's 3 of them here. The champagne one, I'm almost finished with this up here at the top. Oh, I dyed my hair and I've got hair dye stuck underneath my nails and at the tips of my nails. I've tried scrubbing, I've tried to do everything, but I just have to paint over it. So just kind of ignore that if you can. But I'm going to put a little bit of this champagne lip mask on. I finished off everything from the champagne one. I used a little bit out of Natural. Is that what that one is? Yeah. And then down here at the bottom, this red one is called Smashed. I really didn't want a tint to my lips, so anyway, I really like this thing. I've been enjoying it so far. Moving on to my face, I'm gonna skip foundation today. I'm gonna try and just focus on like a powder foundation. So I'm gonna put down some concealers in place of a foundation. The first one is my Makeup Forever Full Cover Extreme Camouflage Cream. I love this stuff. I think this is my 3rd tube of this. I get shade number 3, and then I also have my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. This is in light 2, which is also called Vanilla. So I'm just gonna kind of mix these around on the face. It might look like I'm putting a little bit extra than I normally would, but that's just because I don't have any foundation down. So that's why we're working with so much here. I look insane, but that is okay. So I usually will reach for the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer for brightening purposes. I'm going to be using some brushes today. You guys know about my love obsession with Real Techniques products and their brushes and sponges and stuff. So I have this set here. This is the Berlin set. I guess there were a couple different designs and the fans decided to pick out this set and this design. So I'm going to be using these throughout putting on my makeup today. So I'm going to grab this one here. This is actually the Deluxe Crease Brush, and I use this just to blend concealer around on my face, and I know I have a ton of concealer on today, but it'll work great. So it just kind of buffs everything around without tugging too much. I'm going to move on to this little guy here. This is my NYX Dark Circle Corrector. I'm just going to dab this just at the very inner corner part of my under eye right there. Since I don't have a ton of product down, I know I'm not getting enough sleep at night, so my dark circles are probably super visible. And I don't like to overdo it with this product because it almost has like this weird dry texture, and sometimes it'll ball up depending on what products I'm using with it. So anyway, we're just gonna put a little tiny dab down quickly before my concealer has a chance to try to crease. I have my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder, just the little deluxe size, the travel size one, in Ethereal Light. And I have a Real Techniques angled highlighter brush that I just use to dab some of this product underneath the eye area just to brighten a little bit. Now I am going to be moving over to my Bare Minerals Powder Foundation. I really enjoy this product. I have had 2 of the original powder foundations, and then I did purchase one of the matte powder foundations, the matte version that they create. I have the shade Fairly Light. It says N10 on the side over here. So I just recently added this into my Finish 5 by Fall. So I definitely want to get some use out of it, and I really enjoy this product. I feel like it has great coverage, and it makes for a good base underneath other products, I feel like. So I'm just tapping some into the cap. I have my, this one's my Makeup Forever little kabuki brush, but my e.l.f. one works just fine too. My e.l.f. one is actually drying because I washed it last night. So we're going to be using my Makeup Forever one. I feel like they do the exact same job. So I dab into the powder a little bit, tap it off, and then I start around the perimeter of my face and just kind of brush it around. I kind of dab after I get off that initial sweep of product. Funny fact is I actually only used to wear a powder on my face, so I really like using a product like this, and I even go back over the areas where I put down that ambient lighting powder on my skin as well, just to add a touch of coverage while it still has that brightening effect to it. Once this is finished, I kind of just go around the skin and just buff around to make sure everything's blended out. I feel like it looks quite flawless. I've never had it look cakey on the skin, so I really enjoy this little kabuki style powder foundation method. I'm going to move on to my NARS Laguna bronzer for this week. I'm going to pull out this little guy here. This is one of the contour brushes from that Real Techniques line. I think that brush set is fantastic, honestly. I don't usually go overboard with my contour or bronzer, so it's just going to be a light dusting kind of at the back of my cheekbone area and then around the perimeter of my face as well. For blushes, I still have my Sephora powder blush in number 8, Rose Petals, still going strong. I am hoping that this will be finished before the end of July. I think it really will. I just need to use it a little bit more frequently. I've kind of been dabbling in something that isn't so peachy toned, but this one's really pretty, so I still have that one in my bag. Today, I want to go for more of like a cool tone, like pinky purple look, so I'm going to pull out MAC's Well Dressed pan right here, and I do have 2 swatches there. So this is Well Dressed. It's very faint. It's a very light pale blush, and then this was Rose Petal that I built up a little bit from Sephora. So those are the 2 blushes that I have in my bag. I'm just going to use my MAC 129 blush brush to toss this on the cheeks. And the great thing about Well Dressed is that even though I'm pretty heavy-handed with my blush, it's such a light shade that, you know, you can't really go overboard with it. Highlighter, I pulled out my MAC Gleam Tones powder in Dunes at Dusk. You're really gonna have to excuse my chipped nails. It looks really bad. They look super dirty because of the hair dye, but I can't scrub it off. I'm just gonna have to paint over it. So this is what Dunes at Dusk looks like. It's a very cool tone shade. If you try and pull in some more of this peachy shade, then it'll look a little bit warmer, but I generally just focus on these top three and just slightly dab in that third one. So I'm just kind of going around in between all of them. And then I have a Real Techniques setting brush, and I just kind of like set it on the cheek, and then I do my little weird sweepy thing. I'm not quite sure where I picked this technique up from, but I think it blends it out quite seamlessly. And I also bring just a little bit right at that inner corner, and I dab in all 4 quadrants for that one. I have the Lancome Sorcel Styler. I wanted to show you what this stuff does. I know the fronts aren't exactly even, but I've got way too much stuff to do right now to worry about centering the front of my brows. So the little comb on this is spectacular. It has the finest little teeth, and you can grab onto each individual hair. If you're just putting this in your brows by itself, I would highly recommend going from the back and moving backwards and then brushing it through, because that really coats every hair and really builds up the volume. But since I do have something already through my brows, and I'm just trying to add in a little bit of, I'm just trying to add in a little dimension to the brows. So do you see the difference between the 2 brows? I feel like it just makes them look a little bit more polished, even if they're not 100% perfect and identical. Then what I like to do is just set all the face products with my MAC Fix Plus, because it does have that glycerin in it. So I'll spritz a little bit of this on the face right now. For my eye bases, I have 2 products here. One of them I'm probably just gonna keep in my makeup bag just in case I don't want to wear like a super crazy purple eye look. This is my MAC Painterly Paint Pot, and it's just like a flesh toned kind of eye base. It just cancels out any veining or anything that you have on your eyelids. But the one that I'm going to be using today is my Laura Mercier Caviar Stick. This one is in Orchid, so it is more of a purpley tone. And like I said, this one is part of my Finish 5 by Fall challenge. Let me give you a little swatch of this so you can see. These are pretty cool products. That is a swatch of it right there. Obviously it's the purple one, but depending on the shade that you have of these, you can either put these down all over the eyelid and just wear them alone, or you can just put them into the crease and blend them out. You can also put them underneath the bottom lash line and just kind of smudge them underneath there. If you have a darker shade, you could wear them as an eyeliner just at the outer corner of the eye and kind of smudge it out just along the edge up at the top. You can toss them in the waterline. These have 1,000 different uses. They're very versatile. They're probably my favorite eye base to use. So I just have a ton of caviar sticks and I need to get some more use out of them. So I'm just gonna run this all over the lid area, kind of blend it out, put just a little bit underneath the bottom lash line as well. Then I'm gonna take my Makeup Forever Aqua XL eyeliner. This one is in M10, which is matte 10. It's like the matte black one. I'm just gonna tight line with this one just at the outer corner of my eyes. Hopefully you can see I just did that outer corner right up against the, my eyeball and my lash line, and then I brought just a tiny bit down along the bottom lashes. I will move over to my eyeshadow for today. I have no idea what I'm gonna do, but I decided I wanted to do like a pinky purple sort of look today. So I have these 2 palettes here. I have my Urban Decay Feminine palette, which is part of the Pan That palette for 2017. I'll put a card up at the top there in case you haven't seen that series, and then I'm also going to pull in just a couple shades from the Modern Renaissance palette. So not quite sure what this look is going to end up turning into, but we will find out here real quick. So just to put down some kind of like a transition shade, I'm gonna go into the Modern Renaissance palette from Anastasia, and I'm gonna take the shade called Bon Fresco, which is right here. It kind of looks like Tease from Urban Decay or Quarry from MAC, that one. And I'm gonna take a, what should I take? I'm gonna take a MAC 217 eyeshadow brush. It's just like a super fluffy blending brush. I'm gonna use that one and just pop that through the crease area gently, kind of blow it out a little bit. I'm gonna go in with this Real Techniques base shadow brush, and I think the only two brushes from that set that I'm not going to be using today are these two. This one is the buffing brush, and I just don't feel like I need this. I could have used this to just put down that Bare Minerals powder, but I used my little mini kabuki one, and then the other one that I'm not using is the stippling brush. This would be nice for putting down bronzer or contour, or you could also put your blush on with this one, but I opted for my MAC one instead. But these are really great brushes. If you can still find this set, I highly recommend it. But I'm gonna take this base shadow brush, I'm gonna go into the Urban Decay Feminine palette and take the lightest shade at the front. This is called Bordello right here. I had to repress that. So we're gonna take that, put that all over the lid. I'm just going to take a little bit on my ring finger and go underneath. And just run right over the top of that Orchid shadow stick. Like I said, I have no idea what I'm doing with my eyes today. It'll be a surprise for me as well. So then I'm going to go back into the Modern Renaissance and I'll pick up a little bit of, I guess Love Letter right here, and we'll put that into the crease area. Maybe that'll kind of tie stuff together. I'm gonna take this is an older 217, so some of the bristles have kind of worn down a little bit. It's a little bit more tapered than my new one. These shadows are super powdery, super pigmented, so I really need to be careful. This could get really crazy really fast. I'm trying to just target this into that outer corner in the crease area, but just slightly above it as well. I'm going to take just a little bit on my ring finger and put it underneath the bottom lash line, just on that outer edge, just to tie everything together. I'm trying to keep this kind of simple. And I'll bring just the tiniest amount down on that lower part of my lid right there. It's blended enough for me. After I finish my eyeliner, if I need to go back and tweak my shadow shape just a little bit, then I can, but I think I'm going to go in with this little guy here to kind of complete the look. This is one of the Julep Eyeshadow 101 Cream to Powder eyeshadow sticks, and on one end they come with this little sponge tip kind of blender thing. I don't use these. If I use this side, it'll generally pick up anything that's down underneath it, whether it be the cream shadow or concealer or foundation. It'll lift that up off the skin. So I don't even bother trying to use this little blender sponge part, but the other side is really nice. This is in the shade Pearl Shimmer. That is it right there. It's very brightening. That is it right there. Super brightening. So I'm going to toss this just at the inner corner of the eye just because I'm feeling like it's a little dark at the moment. And then to blend these out just a smidgen, I just take my pinky finger and do it that way instead of the little blender situation. I just got to be careful that my nail doesn't dig into anything. I'm going to toss this into my bag just to have it in there. This is my Rimmel Scandalized Waterproof Kohl Liner in Nude. Generally, I'll put this in the waterline. I'm going to skip it today. I also am going to be adding in my MAC Black Track Fluid Line. I am almost finished with this, and I should use this today, but I kind of want to rush through the rest of this because I have a couple more things I need to do today before it gets too late. So I really do love this gel eyeliner, and I'm crossing my fingers that it will be finished off before the end of July and it can be in my empties. I'm really close, but today I'm going to be using the Clinique Pretty Easy Liquid Lining Pen. I just have the black shade in 01, so I'm going to try my luck with a liquid liner today. Okay, eyeliner, it's somewhat straight. It's doable for today. I'm gonna go in with my Shiseido eyelash curler and get these bad boys ready for some mascara. First of all, I'm going in on the bottom lashes and using the Clinique Bottom Lash Mascara. This has the tiniest wand, so it just allows you to get right in there and get every single little baby hair that's even imaginable down there. Even ones you didn't even know existed, it helps to find all those. Because I curled my lashes already, I'm gonna go in with the Urban Decay Perversion little deluxe size sample that I opened up last time. This stuff is very black. I'm gonna put a coat on my upper lashes, and then I'm gonna go over like the outer corner of the bottom lashes. That is one coat of mascara on the eyes. I probably got it all over the lid. I'm not sure I need to go through and comb out much here. I mean, I think it looked great, so I'm just gonna leave it how it is. It's not that big of a deal. I'm gonna go in and do the other eye super quick. So mascara took a little bit longer than I had originally anticipated just because I got it all over on the upper part of this lid and I tried to kind of camouflage that. But lips, I have two actual lipsticks, one liquid lipstick, and then some glosses. So the first lipstick, this is going to be the lightest one that I'm wearing this week. This one is MAC's Cream, the Cream Sheen formula of Cream Cup, and it's just a very light kind of nudie pink shade. Has a little bit of a shine to it. That is it right there. I was considering wearing this one today, but I feel like this might be just a touch too warm toned, and my hair is driving me crazy. Let me pull this off to the side or something. I don't wear ponytails that frequently, but hopefully this looks alright. The next one is one that was sent to me through Octoly. I was so excited about this one because I love By Terry products, but they're just so insanely expensive that it's kind of scary to order something that you only see swatches of. I don't have any By Terry counters near me, so trying to get the right color match for a product is very difficult. So I saw this one on the Octoly website and I applied for it. This is one of their Rouge Expert Click Stick Hybrid Lipsticks. So it's supposed to be kind of balmy, but it has the pigment of a lipstick and it's relatively long wearing. I tried this on and I wore it for a couple hours before I noticed any transfer, like, you know, wear down transfer on my lips. This is what this little guy looks like here, and it says on the back, this is a 3-in-1 hybrid lipstick that's rich like a balm, precise like a pencil, and intense like a premium pigment. It does have this ergonomic teardrop shaped tip that instantly outlines the contours and fills in the lips. I feel like the shape of this lipstick is quite fascinating. I don't feel like it's hard to use. I don't feel like it adds very much to it, but it's a nice kind of unique product in my lipstick collection. So that is what it looks like there. It has that little teardrop shape and you click it once down on the bottom to put out the correct amount of lipstick. I usually do like 3 or 4 just because I'm a little excessive and over the top like that anyway, and sometimes I go outside of the lines. And you know, I've noticed the older I get, my lip line kind of blurs and it's kind of hard to find where my actual lip line is. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that, but if you have, let me know. So I usually go with the pointy part of the thing at the top, so I can do my Cupid's bow. and then I'll flip it. And then on the bottom I'll put the fat part. I'll put the fat part of the lipstick on the bottom. The bottom part of it just glides right on like butter. I actually think that you're supposed to be using the pointy part of it all the way around the lip area, but it's just easier for me to do the Cupid's bow and then flip it so I have the same shape on both sides, because my lip line on this side is just a little bit different than the other side. Oh, I didn't even tell you the shade. I got shade number 4, which is... what is the shade? Rose Ease. So that is a swatch of Rose Ease right there. That was the MAC one. That is Rose Ease from by Terry. And then let me show you this last one, because I got this in my most recent Sephora Play box and I was really excited about it. These are probably my all-time favorite liquid lipstick formula. This is a little mini of the Bare Minerals Gen Nude Matte Liquid Lipstick, or Matte Liquid Lip Color, in the shade Swag. These smell like chocolate milk or a chocolate milkshake. They glide right onto the lips. They're more of like a whipped formula instead of a thin, get into all the lines of your lips and dry down, really tight and dry feeling. These are quite moisturizing and they wear for hours on me, and when they do finally start to wear down a little bit, it's gracefully. You can't even see where it's worn off of the lips, even though they still transfer and they never completely 100% dry down. So that is a very odd swatch of Swag right there, but I'm gonna kind of play around with these 3 lip colors for this week. Well, what's left of this week. We're about halfway through it. And then I do have 2 lip glosses, and there's a reason for that. So one of them I do have in a project. This is my Naked lip gloss from Urban Decay. I have the shade Love Child. This is just a very easy color that goes with essentially anything. It's a very pale, neutral or cool toned light pink color. So that is Love Child right there. Just, you know, basic light pink shade. So I have this one, and then the other one, the only reason why I'm adding this in is because I'm so close to finishing it off. I figured I could use my Dior one in the morning and then the Urban Decay one later in the afternoon and the evening when I need to reapply or to touch up or whatever. So this is my Dior Lip Maximizer. I am all the way down to right there. I figure I can pop out the stopper out of this thing and just use the last little bit out of this and I can have it finished off. It has the best sweet mint fragrance to it. Love this thing. This thing, I'm not quite sure if it actually plumps the lips or does anything to your lips, but it sure makes them feel nice. It's not sticky whatsoever. It has a very pleasant fragrance to it, so this stuff is quite lovely. I have this little baby perfume sprayer that I'll just keep in my purse. There's only product from here down, so I figured I'll just toss this in my purse, finish it off. This is the Juicy Couture Viva La Juicy Sucra? I don't know. It's super sweet. It kind of reminds me of the original Juicy Couture Viva La Juicy perfume. And then this one, obviously, since it is in one of my projects, my Victor & Noel Flower Bomb perfume, I'm making a little bit of progress on this, a little bit more than I had originally anticipated. So anyway, that was everything that I was using today and what I'm using for the rest of this week. I really appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.